So, as a growing child, we used to think that those children who wear glasses are the most brilliant in the class. But I was wrong about it. In fact, some of them are very dull and can hardly grasp what the teacher is trying to pass on. Well, that's by the way. In this life, never you be rude to those people you meet on your way up because you might meet those people on your way back. Now, this boils down to my advice to young ladies in particular. You're not married yet. Men are flocking around you and asking how far, baby girl. So, because you are very young, you tend to be very rude as well, forgetting that time waits for no one. So after frolicking around and saying no to your potential suitors, mommy will start asking, Nkechi, when are you coming home with a suitor? Daddy will also be looking at you with his glasses down to his nose. Of course, the oversabi uncles and aunties in the village are not left out. Your mother's friends will also be mounting pressure on her with other people's ashrebi. And then at home, your parents will suddenly remember that all this while you've been eating at home, you've actually not been contributing to the welfare of the house. Of course, your younger siblings in the house will try to add salt to injury. Any little quarrel, you will hear something like this. Sister Nkechi, that's how you be bullying us. You don't know you're old enough to get married. Please go to your husband's house and leave us alone. The umbonge of them all is when you go to the church just to worship your God. Oh. And then the pastor makes a marriage announcement. Your mom runs out from the congregation with an offering in her hand, rushes to the altar to sow a seed. From the altar, she rushes down to your seat in the church, places her hand on your head and shouts, Amen. Oh my goodness. Oh my, oh my. Tell me, what kind of embarrassment is more than this all one? Of a sudden, your hot, girly, and sexy girl vibe will just die down. Then you start moving from one church to the other for Wednesday prayer and for prophets to lay their hands on you. Forgetting that when you were hottie, you were saying no to men anyhow. Am I asking you to say yes to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes your way? No. My point is, be sensible, be reasonable, be smart. There's this lady who used to be a hottie. I know her personally. Before now, she had a lot of suitors. But because of her beauty, she tended to be very rude to almost all the men that came her way. Now she's getting older and a little bit too desperate to settle. One of the guys she was rude to discovered that she's now desperate and really wants to settle. He found himself back to her life, disguising to be a Malaysian big boy. In order to convince her and make her feel more comfortable with him, he decided to take this lady to the village to go see his parents. While in the village, he took this girl to some of his auntie's house, his uncles, and some of his cousins as well to go meet them. This made her feel very comfortable and was like, oh wow, I've finally gotten a husband. They stayed in the village for 1 week and finally went back to the city. While back in the city, days turned into weeks and weeks into months. He finally proposed to her, and then one day she was in her office doing her work. Her phone just kept on ringing back to back, like back to back. When she finally picked the call, it was her husband to be. He told his so-called wife to be of how he saw a very good land in the village when they traveled to go see their parents and would like to purchase it so he can start building their own personal house in the village. He also told her that they have paid part of the money and needed just 500,000 naira to complete it. He pleaded with her to loan him the money, promising to pay back in 2 months' time. Without too much question, she transferred the money to her so-called husband-to-be account. 1 month later, he woke her up in the middle of the night with another cock and bull story of how he bought a car, stating that he has done all the clearance and paperwork, that he needs just 200,000 to fix a minor problem in the car, promising once again to pay her back with interest, seeing that he's already owing her before now. Once again, she transferred the money to him without delay. The last straw that broke the camel's back was when he asked her for money to process their visa so they could leave the country, stating that he would like her and their unborn children to have a beautiful life outside the country. She felt happy that her man has her best interest at heart and then transferred almost 1 million naira into his account. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. No land, no visa, and no car. She decided to ask him for updates on all these things, and this guy started giving her flimsy excuses. He suddenly stopped visiting her, picking her calls, or even returning her messages. She decided to do her own little background check on this guy and ask questions here and there, only for her to discover that this guy is a married man with 2 kids. My God. She felt so heartbroken and decided to ask him why he did this to her. He simply told her that it's a revenge for looking down on him. What? Guys, this is extra. Why not just move on and let her be? This is wickedness at its peak. Well, as I'm telling this story, the case is actually in the court, trying to get her money back from the man. At least she can hold on to something.